Is the United States planning to build a military base in Nigeria? That would be a welcome development because it will end terrorism as fast as possible. Now, see what this Twitter user wrote. It says, U.S. military base in Nigeria. General John Brannan joined senior leaders in Abuja today to launch the inaugural U.S.-Nigeria Working Group. This group establishes a new framework for coordination, accountability, and joint effort to counter terrorism and protect the vulnerable. Islamic terrorists are in trouble. They don't know what's coming for them. It's either they repent or get smoked out. So the U.S. is really putting so much effort in ending terrorism. But the biggest challenge we have are the sympathizers of these terrorists who are in key government positions. Like we've always said, that fighting terrorism is not difficult if we really want to end it. But for the fact that we have people who compromise the whole process, that is what the challenge is at the moment. But the US is talking about accountability, holding people accountable, not coming and telling us that the terrorists who have killed people, are going to be reintegrated into the Nigerian military. No, this is an accountability group that is going to also make sure that those who are involved in crime face the law. And this is what Nigerians want to see. Now, let's see more headlines as regards to the insecurity in Nigeria. This one here says American missionary Alex Babia was in Jos, Plateau State live to witness the recent Christian genocide. These terrorists just keep killing Nigerians. People who are said to not even be Nigerians, coming from all over the places. Now, a human rights advocate raised alarm yesterday, saying sometime in October that 3 trailers brought in people from Sahel. The Nigerian military, Nigerian police, intelligence, DSS, they did nothing. Now, these people are the ones terrorizing. Majority of these terrorists, you see, they are not Nigerians. And that's why when they come in, they want to kill, they want to maim. And why is it that Nigeria cannot really go out after them? It's because we have their sympathizers. And now, this other headline says, killing, abduction, so after U.S. airstrikes, as terrorists kill 183, abduct 366 in 27 days, less than 1 month. Almost 200 persons killed, 366 in the den of these terrorists. Don't forget that recently in southern Kaduna, they took 177 persons into the bush. And they said when they got to their den, they saw more people that were kidnapped. So this figure is not even the real figure. If you're talking about those who were kidnapped, I mean, if close to 200 persons said they went there and now saw more people, that's to tell you that only in southern Kaduna alone, you might be having close to 500 persons kidnapped. And we have a government. So guys, now take a look at this headline of terror financiers and your government making decisions with you. Cleric Ayodele wants Tinubu. He's telling Tinubu, this is one of Tinubu's favorite prophet, but this time around he's telling Tinubu, see, there are bad people in your government. Anyway guys, I don't know what you make of this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more. Now take a look.
I don't know what happened to us. Have we lost the fire? Just because Trump bombed Nigeria? We think like it's good now? Guys, this is our own body. 170 of them were kidnapped yesterday. Dozens were killed. The fight is ongoing. The genocide is ongoing. We need to speak about this. I haven't heard much about this recently because we're just like, oh, well, Trump bombed them. It's good now. No, it's not. It's ongoing. We need to use our voices. Our voices are powerful. And then we need to move to their aid tangibly. Send them Bibles. Send them trauma counseling. Rebuild their cities, their villages. Click the link in the comments for Global Christian Relief. I've seen the work they've done. It's incredible. And know that you'll stand before them one day, and you'll stand before the Lord one day. And he will look at you and say, well done, good and faithful servant. For I was being massacred in Nigeria, and you came to my aid.
I'm going to tell you this to take it to the bank. That the reason why Nigerians are advocating for the division of Nigeria is nothing but purely as a result of religious fanaticism that exists predominantly in the north. Take religious fanaticism out of the north, I am telling you, the northern Nigeria becomes the best place any other human being can ever exist. But with fanaticism in the north, nothing good can ever come out of it. And I want to challenge people that will now say that it's as a result of bad governance, bad leadership. I want to tell you that bad governance and bad leadership, as far as it exists in the north, is also informed as a result of religious fanaticism. Because as it is, the clerics are actually the ones that decide who should be voted for and who should not be voted for. And it still falls back to Take it or leave it, you say some of the clerics are in bed with the politicians or whatever, but take it or leave it, even if they are in bed with the politicians or whatever, the fact is, common sense simply entails that a typical northerner should know that religious fanaticism should not be something to be entertained, whether it comes from a cleric, scholar, or a politician. So let's not downplay the reality with bad governance. The fact is, kick out religious fanaticism out of the north and everything becomes equal. Don't blame people for agitating for Middle Belt. Don't blame people for agitating for Biafra. That is just the fact. Because when you look at it now, most of these atrocities are coming from the north and is informed religiously. It's religious inclination that have made the likes of them Shegumi to advocate for pardon for people that have unalived individuals, right? And it's the same religious indoctrination that tells you that a politician is Oga, is your head, and you shouldn't actually challenge him irrespective of what he's doing. It's the same religion that have resorted to Muslim ticket. It's the same religion that have told you not to rebel in regards bad governance and a lot of it. It's the same religion that have succeeded in idolizing or criminalizing people that are not of the same religious concept. Not tribe. Not tribal affiliations. Because I will tell you that as far as the North is concerned, there is no tribal discrimination that you can actually pinpoint to a reasonable extent that is what is dividing people, despite the hundreds of tribes that exist in the North. But as far as religion is concerned, religion is the major principle. And what is my advocacy? My advocacy is, I would have loved a situation I advocate, you talk, I talk, and it's going to change a lot of minds, and everybody at a point in time will come to a specific page and a point of convergence that at the end of the day, all we require is good governance. But if I must tell you the truth, I don't tire. And every other person is getting tired. And it looks as if this is a solution that is going to require my generation and the next generation and other generation. So what is my advocacy? Allow everybody with his own concept to test the test of his medicine. That is why I'm saying when people are advocating they need to go, let them go. And people that are saying everybody must stay, nah lie. And let me tell you how a fanatic typically thinks in northern Nigeria. A fanatic in northern Nigeria believes that northern Nigeria belongs to Usman Dan Fodio, and it belongs to other people, and that they reverence so much that this is their land to conquer, and even the nation. And if you are thinking it stops as just conquering the northern Nigeria or Nigeria, it doesn't stop there. The fact is, a fanatic believes in this general concept that the world entirely must be conquered according to his fanatic ideology. That is to tell you it's an endless war. And me, I'm not ready for that endless war. I'll go do the one way I see result here. So any other person that is interested in giving these people a test of their medicine, I am in tune with you. I am in tune with you. Let's not be hypocritical. Just like I keep saying, I will not lie to myself. Remove religious fanaticism in the North, and the North becomes the best place, just like it used to be. But if that is not the case, let everybody test his medicine. Seriously. The fact is, all by now, all of us, nobody lives here forever. Whatever you think they inform you, now the same thing where they inform you. That same madness where you think say you can acquire as a result of religious fanaticism, myself I feel acquire. And let's see who lives here forever. And nothing more. So sincerely speaking, just like I keep saying, I'm not an ambassador of hypocritical peace. Because when you excuse it on the part of political incompetence, the political influence is actually informed religiously. And the government of the day is doing nothing in that regard. So don't deceive yourself. Whatever it is, the concept you believe you are going to pursue to ensure that you live in peace and your next generation live in peace, pursue it. till everybody, till we see from the body language of everybody concerned and even the government that they are ready to embrace peace and let everybody live in harmony, then we can now have a different conversation. But as far as now is concerned, don't deceive yourself. Don't deceive yourself that this talk, now go change everything. Now action go change something.
In Nigeria, tens of thousands of people have been slaughtered. I preached there in that nation 2 different times. Preached one crusade that would have 100,000 people, they told me, every night. And it was unbelievable. And to see what is taking place with the Islamic extremists taking over and slaughtering entire villages of Christians. Our brothers and our sisters in Christ, I've met those people. I've ate with those people and loved worshiping with them. And my heart goes to them as I know yours does. In the Sudan and all of the other nations, just 2 weeks ago, a Chinese pastor who pastors the largest church, Christian church in China, was arrested, and his entire staff, and no one has heard a word. His family is trying to get the world to pay attention and say, they're just gone, they're just vanished, we don't know where they are. If ever there was a cause that the church ought to pray about it, we ought to pray about the persecuted church around the world. And in many nations that forbid it, they're underground and they're flourishing. Even in the nation of Iran, for example, the latest numbers that are coming out of there is there are churches underground that totals in the millions. And is an Islamic nation that forbids it, Sharia law that forbids it. But they, at great peril, gather in His name to worship Jesus.
Donald Trump's struck in Sokoto. Is Sokoto significant?
Well, people have argued that Northwest is the most significant area. So, we are not privy to his calculation, but we can guess. First, power creates signals and symbolism that I stay on the Gulf of Guinea. I'm not even close to Nigeria, and I can attack you. That's symbolism. That's a signal that when I'm ready to go anywhere, you cannot stop me. Second, and this is a very painful analysis, we are not sure that the federal government was telling the truth when it said it knew about it. They said they collaborated, but they made a small mistake, which is that they have intelligence. If the Tinubu government has intelligence, why couldn't he use it himself?
Perhaps he doesn't have the precision weapons to do that.
Well, he has an army. He can move an army.
He doesn't want to move a ground force in there. Fire for fire.
Well, that is his country. Because once you have once you say you have the intelligence,
I'm just thinking aloud.
Yeah, if you have the intelligence, your intelligence will tell you how strong the army is. It can be stronger than the Nigerian army. But and Tinubu may say, okay, if Trump is doing my job for me, why will he not be grateful? Because if it's true that he's also looking for those people, and somebody helps you to destroy them, you play a double game. You remember he has not criticized Trump for doing that. He
has been strategically silent.
It's deliberate. You see, I did a TV interview on it in which everybody was saying, this is your sovereignty being encroached upon. But he's silent. Which means, well, I know Trump will collect his money back secretly. He's a transactional leader. I mean, the materials will run into millions of dollars that he used. You and I will not know when the Tinubu government pays for that, but he will collect his money.
Is Trump done with Nigeria?
We don't know that. We don't know that because he will strike again.
What does he want?
He wants resources. By now, they'll be behind the door negotiations that you and I are not aware.
Nigerians are saying he can come take it. That even our leaders have not used the resources for the benefit of the people.
Well, that is one argument which raises suffering. Call this sovereignty. Sovereignty against sovereignty. So if people are suffering, do they care about sovereignty? Which is exactly what you are saying. That if you are not using the resources to solve the issues of poverty, what does it matter? Some people are saying, don't let us talk about the sovereignty argument. Let us talk about the crisis, the insecurity, and the suffering, which are two separate arguments.
Will bombing Sokoto solve the problem of banditry? Because they are still hitting. They are everywhere.
Oh, and they demonstrated their capacity just a few days ago. Just going to an open market, killed 35, 36 people, and carried the rest away. So, it has not solved the problem. So, we are not party to what the federal government and the US government are talking about, because it's will be security of confidential nature.
Is Trump interested in 2027 election in Nigeria?
I don't see the evidence, but I hear the gossip.
What do you hear?
The gossip coming from different sectors. One, first of all, there's a rumor of the coup. And the rumor of the coup, people are saying there is a Chinese that leaked it. I have no evidence. That's why I'm calling it a rumor that he will have been dead on October 1st. That's a gossip. That coup was intended to assassinate him. I have no evidence. That's just a gossip. But they keep telling us the investigation is ongoing. And they've released names, including that of a former governor, a minister. But they have not told us anything. And we don't know the conclusion. And there is a Biafran wing that also formed the lobby saying, Trump, come. That aspect is there. And we do not know. Members of the caliphate are also not happy with Tinubu. And they have made it clear that they're not happy with him because of the nature of appointments, because he's a monopolist that does not like to share power. He wants to concentrate power, which is a gossip about removing Shetima. And if you look at the duties in Lagos, there are two major sources of revenues: customs in Lagos and oil in Niger Delta. Anchored to the NNPC, the North is saying that they have been controlled by Yoruba people.
But they controlled it in Buhari's time.
But in politics, you don't talk about the past. You talk about what we're losing at the moment. And they say, bear in mind, many Nigerian politicians have no business. They don't. You understand? So when they're out of power, you're also saying they should become broke. And they're not going to accept being broke.
You just talked about the Biafran lobbyists. Who are these people?
Well, but they have never gone away. The most articulate is Kanu. who is very clear. Kanu is very clear. It's an insurgency. So you have the Niger Delta insurgency. You have the Ududua Republic insurgency. You have the Fulani insurgency. And people have said, why focus on him? Why just focus on Kanu if there are other people? Why are you kind to the Niger Delta insurgents and you're not kind to him? Why do you call for the integration of Boko Haram elements into the army and police? That they're basically doing the same thing. Why do you focus on him? That's one. Because he doesn't speak for himself, remember. He speaks for a larger number of people. You may not agree with his rhetoric, you may disagree with his style, but he's not just speaking for himself. So, the civil war ended, but it doesn't mean that the idea has ended. The idea has never ended. To those who did not suffer from that war, they don't understand trauma and memory. Because it's the only region in Nigeria that underwent that trauma. And you have to be fair to them. They remain traumatized. And what that war said is, look, we don't know whether they are going to kill us again. They are not giving us presidential power, and they are making us second-class citizens. So they have to create pressure groups. And part of that pressure group is not just domestic, it's also manifested in other countries.
It's international.
Yes, the lobby. They are part of the lobby that says Muslims are persecuting us, which is not new. Ojukwu said the same thing.
Yes, if you even read that declaration.
He said it, that this is genocide. So, the number we may be exaggerating, the effect may be exaggerating, but you have to include them among the lobby talking to American Christian fundamentalists.
And now that Trump has come, will he help them?
So there's a joke. If he wants to help them, why can't he give them asylum? Why is he giving Afrikaner asylum in South Africa? So they say, if you love the Christians a lot, why don't you say 1 million? I will let you live in US. So some people are criticizing him for that. But as I said previously, you have to also look at his domestic politics, in which Christian fundamentalists are also part of MAGA. So it's a base that he also has to satisfy.
Do you see the US government supporting a Christian presidential candidate in the 2027 election?
They may not frame it that way. They may not frame it that way. Remember, Jonathan is of the belief that the US government was part of those who made it possible for him to lose power.
He's not happy with Obama.
Yes. He said it. Some people say they have the proof. Some people say they don't have the proof. But for a transactional politician like Tinubu, that game may be very complex. Because like both of Trump and Tinubu are dealers. These are political dealers. Very astute in their game. Because the way Tinubu may say, Mr. Trump, what do you want? And as a transactional politician, he can give it. So, Tinubu is not like Buhari. Buhari may be a bad manager, but he wasn't as transactional as Tinubu. Tinubu is a kind of president with you on gold in Samfara. Let's talk about it. And that's how transactional politicians behave.
And Trump likes that.
Yeah, both of them share that in common.
Nicolas Maduro did not understand him.
he did, but because, he kept saying, let us reduce the price of petrol. Let's negotiate. But he wanted more. He wanted to take over the entire thing.
Well, the CPI rose to 131.2 points in December from 130.5 in November, showing slower price increases, yet Many Nigerians argue that the so-called relief is largely technical, shaped by new methodology rather than cheaper goods in the market. Month-on-month inflation stood at 0.54%, lower than November's 1.22%. But traders and consumers insist that transport fares, rice, bread, and cooking oil continue to bite harder. The prices continue to go off the roof. But the price of a few of these things have actually come down. Price of bag of rice has reduced, but then the question will be from what to what, really, because it rose above what it was initially, and then it reduced a little bit, but not back to what it was. And price of egg, like I was asking, I don't go to the market often, so I asked yesterday for how much it was now, a crate of eggs, and I was told it's around 6,000, about 6,000 naira.
Some people sell it for 7.
Some people sell for 7. I see, and that's another thing. Anyway, it's about 6,000 naira. But what was it prior to 2023? It was about 2,025. Mm-hmm. All right, so it rose, got up to 7,000, 8,000 at some point, and then some Nigerians spoke about it. Ushie, Ugwamaye, was brought out to be hanged for speaking about the high cost of eggs, because that's one good source of protein. If you can't afford meat and fish and the rest of them, eggs just makes up for it all. But it came down a little bit, 5,000, 5,500 in some places, 6,000 in some, 7,000 in some, according to Jane, and we're celebrating this. The question is, if we're celebrating this, can't it go back to what it was initially, or at least closer to what it was initially? Then it will be worth celebrating, really. But, inflation, according to the data, has dropped, which is one thing the government is celebrating. But Nigerians are not feeling it because the cost of goods continues to increase. The cost of living continues to increase. And the bad part in this inflation rate is that when the price of things went up, prices of transportation went up, prices of rentage went up, and these things don't come down. Yeah. Even if government brings down the cost of cement and the rest, what landlords collect they will come down after giving you a certain amount for the next few years, and then the price of goods come down. They will say, okay, now the price of goods have come down, let's go back to what you used to pay before. So that's why we should endeavor that these things prices don't go out of hand. Now, with the new tax laws, there are fears that there might be inflation again, with people deciding to keep monies in their pockets, in their homes, as against in the banks, and the price of goods going up because of the VAT. Well, NRS has come out to explain the VAT, but it's still not satisfactory as far as I'm concerned. 7.5% with the stamp duty charge, the banks collect, and the rest of them. All of these things will culminate into traders increasing their prices, and service providers will also increase their prices. And when these things go up, they won't come back down. That's my fear.
Moses, I agree with you. I've lived long enough in Nigeria to know that once the prices of anything skyrockets, it rarely comes down. So I think as one who goes to the markets very frequently, the only thing I can say that has sort of stabilized is just a bag of rice.
Bag of rice, okay.
But aside from that, it's like about 60, depending on the kg, type, yeah. 60, 50. Well, there was a time it was 80. There was a time it was 90.
There was a time it was 100 plus.
It was even 100 plus. So I think the only way we can measure or agree with the government that indeed the inflation has dropped is when it reflects in the prices of goods. We are tired of all this beautiful data that they just bandy around. Nigerians don't want spreadsheets. We don't need all of those things. We need to feel it.
Indeed.
We need to feel it. It's not enough for the government to come out and just say, oh, inflation has dropped. Meanwhile, you go to the market. Sometimes you go with 20,000, 10,000, and by the time you finish buying, you're wondering, how did this money finish?
You can hold the nylon in your hand like this.
You can hold the nylon. You know, there are times when I get home, I'm like, what did I buy?
What did I buy?
This is even me that can even afford a little. You know, then imagine people who are struggling, and now with this VAT they want to and it means that a lot of people will start keeping money at home, and it means that these traders will now start, you know, hiking their prices because everybody wants to make a living. I don't know what the economic policy of this administration is, but it seems like there's so much hardship right from the day this administration came into power. From, you know, taking out the fuel subsidy, right from then till now, we haven't really felt the impact of their so-called economic policy.
Well, we need to tighten our belts a little
We
longer
need to, because it's going to get harder.
That's what the government said.
That's
what the government
pains for a while.
Yes.
Gains much
How
later.
many years have we spent in office now?
That is the problem. We don't see that. I like the statement Jane used. That he said that the only price that has stabilized is that of rice. And at that stability at what rate now? At 60,000 naira. How much was it like 10 years ago? How much was it 2 years ago? You know, before the advent of this administration. I think that is the critical question that we should be asking. Well, Moses also said that the government is celebrating, you know, this drop in inflation. It's not only the government that is celebrating, Baptists are celebrating too. People who believe in Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his economic policies. And there are people who will do anything possible to let you believe that, look, that the prices of food items are coming back. You know, they tell you that, oh, their wives have started cheating them because when they give money, they give 50,000 naira last 2 weeks, and the madam went and bought something. When they came back, and 2 weeks later, he still gave the same 50,000. I'm coming. He give you the same 50, gave madam the same 50,000 naira, and when madam came back, he now discovered that, oh, the goods are more than they were before. You know, Nigeria. Okay, so what do you think is the secret?
The secret is that madam is adding her money.
Okay, madam, without telling Oga.
Without telling Oga, because if she relies on only Oga's money, everybody go hunger, go catch everybody.
For house, that is a fact too, because I also have experienced that sometime. You know, I give money, and when my wife comes back, I say, what happened? He said, don't worry. And after some time, I will get to now understand what happened, which is what you have just said.
Money has been added.
It is a lot. Nigerians don't see these things. Nigerians don't feel these things. And like Moses said, we need to tighten our belts. Nigerians are ready to tighten their belts more. But the problem we have is that while the leaders are asking us to tighten our belts, they are losing their own, you know, their belts, because their stomachs are getting bigger, you know, and all of that. And if you look at what is going on, and there is no respite in sight. There's no respite inside, because Nigerian people, with the government in particular, let me talk about the government. Okay. Government will naturally cut corners. People in government will cut corners to ensure that they make more money. Look at the patterns that we see in the budget. Federal Ministry of Works buying motorcycles, doing all sorts of national orientation agencies. Federal Ministry of Works, you see patterns everywhere in the budget, and you begin to ask, where are we headed in this direction? Where are we headed? Do you think that we'll ever come out of this mess? I say that in light of the fact that people that started with us, I keep giving examples. I go to Latin America. These are people that have had independence in excess of 200 years, and they're still grappling. They are still having the same problems that we have. Meanwhile, Europe has been able to move away from all of these things. Europe is about the best place in the world. Okay. The best place in the world in terms of continents. Now you go to Asia. Asians are trying. You talk about the Asian tigers. It's no more about the tigers. Other people, you know, are getting in. Look at countries like Vietnam, even Cambodia. Despite everything that Salak Sow or Pol Pot did in Cambodia, Cambodia is coming up, and they're exporting. They even have steady power supply. It's only in Nigeria that we keep going back and forth. And instead of the government to look at the real problems, government is trying to, you know, get into sophistry to confuse the people, to say, oh, we are doing well, inflation, headline inflation has dropped, and all of that. Before APC took over in 2015, what was the headline inflation? Single digit, about 8%. And by this time, December 2024, it was at 33.8%. So what's the difference? And we are told that economic policies, reforms, that they are going to yield benefits for how long? And they are living larger than life. And they are spending so much money, like $9 million, you know, to pay lobbies. Despite that, we hear that the United States government has devoted about $450 million to fight insecurity in several countries, including Nigeria. So apparently the lobby is not working. If it's working, they will take out Nigeria from that list. But Nigeria is included in that list. The lobby is not working. We are spending so much money. We are borrowing so much money. We are expanding the tax net. And the people that are receiving end of all of these things, the average Nigerian. And I keep saying, well, it will get to a point. There's what we call mutually hurting stalemate. It will get to like two people are fighting. Moses, you and I are squaring, you know. And at a point, we'll look for who will come and separate us. That is, we'll get to that point, then Nigerians will know what to do. Well, let's move away from that and talk about another also interesting trending story. Jen, take it from there.
Okay, the federal government of Nigeria has finally signed a renegotiated agreement with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, ending a 16-year stalemate over the controversial 2009 pact that repeatedly triggered crippling strikes across public universities. Under the new deal announced by the Education Minister Tunji Alausa in Abuja, professors will receive an additional 140,000 naira monthly allowance. That amounts to 1.7 million annually, while readers will earn 70,000 naira alongside a 40% salary review for all teaching staff. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, hailed the agreement as historic, praising President Bola Tinubu's intervention and urging both government and lecturers to uphold their commitments to avoid further disruptions. While the government insists the reforms will boost morale and stabilize the academic calendar, critics argue that the allowances highlight a widening gap between lecturers' welfare and students' harsh realities of overcrowded classrooms, poor infrastructures, and rising tuition costs. Should we be rejoicing over this?
Should we?
Should we really be rejoicing over it?
Should we be rejoicing over this?
Well, it's answer to the prayers of some of those lecturers in ASU. At least they get an increase in pay, and hopefully strikes and all of that will, stay off. They'll stay off their agenda for some time, and students can go to school, get educated, and graduate. But what they have said, which is also what I will reiterate, is implementation of this.
Yeah.
Government shouldn't wait until there is another threat to strike or an actual strike before they now say, okay, let us implement. Because it seems to be what the government has been doing. They bait them. They tell them, okay, we're giving you this. And then after a while, government will be silent on it, and they clamor and ask for what they feel is due unto them, or what they know is due unto them, and it doesn't come. And they say, okay, let's down tools. The government says, okay, come, let's talk. Now, the government should be a lot more caring. All right, they have the ability to be so. So they should be a lot more caring and implement these things so people would not have to go back to the streets. Because ultimately, it's, like when they say, when elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. So if there's another strike, the young Nigerian who's aiming to graduate before a certain age and get a job and do other things with his or her life will be stuck in schools for longer. So implementation, the government should just go ahead and implement this very quickly too.
Yeah, okay. Now beyond implementation, to answer the question Jen asked directly, should we rejoice over it? I'm not sure that we should rejoice over it, because what it tells me from what I see, we have been living a lie, and ASU has been giving us a lie. ASU has always been telling us that, look, it's not about lecturers' welfare. But everything about this agreement is all about lecturers' welfare. Increment in salaries and allowances, emoluments and others. How about infrastructure? Most of you talk about students not having to have downtime. They go and graduate. What kind of graduates are we producing? What is our rating when you look at, the international standards? When they talk about the first 500 universities in Africa,
should ASU chase government around to build structures?
Yes, they should.
They should chase government around.
They should.
There's the TED fund. TED fund is there. So government should use that and build structures. So they should be concerned about their welfare.
No. Apart from being concerned about their welfare, they should also be concerned about their productivity. And when I say that they have been living a lie, ASU has told us that 80% of what they're asking for is about infrastructure and other things, and not about staff welfare. But from what we see, everything that they got is about staff welfare. So we believe in a lie, or they've been telling us.
Well, I will not agree with you on that.
No, but I just said it now. So what the quality of graduates shouldn't? What is you? Okay, we are on this program this morning. Are you not concerned about our deliverable? You should be. I know that you are ultimately concerned. You are evidently concerned, and I say it. So lecturers should be concerned. What quality of graduates do we produce? Like if I'm not doing well in my presentation and all of that, and you ask me which university did I finish from, I tell you I finished from University of XYZ. And my lecturer is out there looking at me, oh, this man has just embarrassed my university. I'm telling you, you get the point. So lecturers should be concerned about the quality of graduates, and we have always said it. Some of our graduates are not even educable, even at the work level. You see, companies employ people, they have to take them through 6 months training again. Why? Because they are lacking in a primary skill that they should have gotten as undergraduates and all of. So it's a big problem, because very soon, apart from, I know that there will be a problem of implementation. There will be that problem because in government, in Nigeria, it's very easy to sign agreements. At some point, government told us they didn't sign any agreement with ASU. Until ASU went and brought out the document and said, is this not the signature? You people appended it. And so we are back to it again. So I'm sure it's going to be a temporary thing. It's going to be a law, and after that, probably 2 years or so, they will go back to it. When you get into a classroom that is supposed to take 40.
So guys, let me quickly take you through these reactions from Nigerians. This person here says, this is coming after the US urges the Tinubu's government to intensify efforts in protecting Christians. This address was made, I believe, before the kidnapping that happened in southern Kaduna and the killing. This was $9 million being spent in Washington, D.C. by Nigeria recently. Has exposed them again. Observers describe it as a deliberate, systemic, and politically motivated hatred Nigerian government has towards the Igbos. This has contributed more why Igbos will continue to seek for Biafra exit. Another person here says Nigeria is a hell. Lawless country. Fulani jihadists everywhere, working with Nigerian army, killing and buying people, innocent Biafran Christians. But Elohim Chukwu Kiabiama is about to disgrace them, divide Nigeria. So these are what Nigerians are saying. This person, America sounds stupid if they are still believing that Nigerian government can do anything about the killing of Christians in Nigeria. And this other person says, you are telling the person persecuting Christians to protect them. Divide the country. Divide the useless country if you really want to help Christians, APCs and Islamic organization. And this person said they are rehabilitating Boko Haram insurgents this week. For a president that doesn't believe in one Nigeria, won't stress himself to protecting lives. They are rehabilitating Boko Haram. I don't know of this week. This person said this meeting no even be about religion or security, now about narrative. Once foreign government, they public instruct your country on how to protect and one group of citizens. It means your internal reporting, intelligence, credibility, and diplomatic voice don't collapse. So guys, these are reactions from Nigeria. Funny enough, the federal government delegates all the same Fulani people. Funny enough, the federal government delegates are the same Fulani people. They are the ones discussing Christian protection before the American government. This is the hypocrisy of the Tinubu government. I mean, the Fulanis discuss the security of Nigerians, and that is the thing. That is the main problem. This person, all they have become audio lately. This person said, the Americans know Nigeria cannot do anything. The more I watch Nigeria, the more convinced I am that this was a setup by Americans. Tinubu is actually a move. He might be even be a disposal move. So guys, I don't know what you think of this. This is sensitive, and this is a serious and sensitive development. If the US is calling for increased protection of Christians, it reflects ongoing concern about security and religion violence in Nigeria. The US government, okay? So, but let me know what you think about this. People are just sharing their mind about the US telling the Tinubu's government to protect Christians. What do you think about that? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification for more. Thank you.